Hi friends, welcome to the last episode of Finance Fridays with Bumbingom. I'm still your host, Lisha, and today we are talking small business finance. I'm particularly excited because we've been doing personal finance all along. Now we're closing it off with business finance, small business finance, and I think we've got a good person to talk the subject with. I'm going to let him introduce himself. Hi, Bongo, how are you?
Hi, Lisha. I'm fine, and good day to all the listeners and everybody who's dialing in or tuning in to listen to us this morning.
Okay, but let me give you an opportunity to just tell our people who are you and what do you do?
All right, as Lisha said, my name is Pongo Kiyose. I am the regional manager for Sifa in the Eastern Cape. So Sifa is a small enterprise finance agency. What we do is that we fund small businesses. From your smallest micro business up to let's call it medium-sized businesses like your filling stations and spa retailers and things like that. So we really look at the whole spectrum of business finance. And yeah, that's what we do. That's what we love to do. That's what we're passionate about. We've got a big spread in terms of our reach in the province. We've got 3 regional offices, one in Tata, one in East London, and one in PE. And we have dedicated officials that try to get out to every single corner of our province, from as far as Alwal North and Stexpray to the north, and Bizana on our eastern borders, and all the way down to Humansdorp on our western borders. So we try to cover every single inch of this province to try and assist all the entrepreneurs that need funding.
Well, friends, I said to you, we have the right person for the job today. You spoke about the fact that when you guys also help with funding small businesses, and we're talking small business finance today. Help us understand what is a small business essentially.
So small business, in terms of the technical sense, is any entity being a P2I Ltd or a closed corporation or CC, or if you're trading as yourself, or as they call it, sole proprietor, any business that generates less than 20 million rands per annum, that is considered a small business. So as you would see, that covers from your small spaza shops and your township businesses in the township economy, right up to your urban businesses that that we see every single day, your restaurants, your any kind of retail space for that matter. So that's what a small business is.
I think what you just defined is the type of businesses that majority of our viewers have, because we have young adults who have started side hustles, as they call them, but like really, these are businesses that are feeding many families, including their own. And now, okay, Gibonga, I've got my small business. I'm making less than 20 million, which I could get to 20 million. I'm making less than 20 million. I've got the business. But I'm like, I think I want to expand. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm hearing people like, there's an opportunity to expand, but I don't have the financial way to do it. So I'm thinking of getting a loan. I'm thinking this is the best way to maybe expand. What are the basics that I need to consider if I'm going to be looking into getting a small business loan?
Okay, let me first start with the different products that Sifa has that are very accessible to every single South African, not just the Eastern Cape, but every South African that is looking to either start a business or to grow or to expand their business. We've got a number of products. One of the ones that is very popular currently is our TRAP program, which is our Township and Rural Enterprise Program. It covers all the businesses that we typically find in the township economy. Abantu baphegayo, called the micro kitchens, bakeries, mechanics and panel beaters, part of the aftermarket funding. Oh, sorry, I've already said, oh yes, and textile industry, one batungayo, and every kind of business that you can find within the tourism economy. And that funding has been created specifically to sort of remove a lot of the red tape that we do find in funding. And it's a very reasonable rate at a 5%, which is less than prime. And there is a grant portion that you get as well. That's up to 100,000 Rand. That funding is up to R1 million. And, I think there's a lot of things you can do with R1 million to really boost your business. Especially if it's something like kalayo or ganye, as people call it, the side hustle, or if you're somebody who's just left university and you don't really know what to do yet, or you've been retrenched and you're passionate about business. I think that's one of the products that we have that are really, really accessible, and you can access it anytime. It's got a very quick turnaround time as well. But to go back to your question in terms of the basics that an entrepreneur needs to consider, the first thing I would say is the market. You need to understand the market that you're operating in. You need to look at what the market needs, and where you can fit yourself there. You also need to look at your finance. Finance being how much money are you going to need to sustain your business, to buy your stock, to pay your employees, if you're going to have employees, to pay yourself, because as they say, the business needs to pay you for your time too. You cannot just work for free. You also need to look at your skills. What are you good at? Because in business, there will be challenges. It's not a matter of there might be. There will be challenges that you'll experience along the way. And if you don't have the skills to navigate those difficulties, you will form part of the statistics that we all don't like to hear about, of the businesses that fail in the first 2 years of them being around. And also passion. It needs to be something that you like doing. It mustn't feel like a chore. The minute, again, you go through a little bit of difficulties and troubles, if you're not passionate about what you're doing, you'll be very quick to quit and just decide, I'm anyway, let me just quit. So those are the main pillars that, in my experience, are, if you do have those things covered as an entrepreneur, you stand a good chance to succeeding in your business endeavors.
Cool. So, I'm out of a tertiary institution, right? Unemployment rate is up the roof, and I'm not getting a job. I'm listening to really fair no phone. I was like, listen, get a passion, follow it. There's funding possibly out there. I'll get started. I'm doing a makunyawam or whatever it is that I'm into. I'm running my small business. It's a year later, Bongo. I haven't made profit. What's your advice to this person? Because I was sitting at home a year before, nothing, no profit, no business. This year there is a business, but there's literally like money. I'm just seeing money getting out and my hard work, but like I'm not getting the profits. What is your advice to somebody who's in that situation?
Yeah, it goes back to the finances that I was talking about, the previous question. And our government has been quite generous with us in providing institutions that can help you with these kind of challenges. So you would have to visit your closest SEDA office, the Small Enterprise Development Agency. They are our sister agency, and they assist with your non-financial business support. So typically, I would think if I was, call it a business doctor, and I would put my thermometer to diagnose what's happening there, I would think that your costing is probably wrong. Maybe you're not pricing your product right. Because if you are selling out tamakunya every day, but you're not making a profit, maybe you're selling them too cheaply. Okay. Or you're not containing your costs properly. Maybe find a cheaper flour or cheaper oil or something else. You need to work your costing. And that goes back to your finances. You need to understand how much it costs you to produce your product. And then you need to put a markup for yourself, and that should be your selling price. But I understand a lot of entrepreneurs are operators. When I say operators, is that they're good at what they do, but they're not very good at the administrative side of the business or the finance side. That's why we have institutions like SEDA, where you can go in, speak to a business advisor, he'll walk you through your business plan and give you proper advice as to how to cost your maybe you're doing something that is wrong. And they'll be able to assist you to align yourself so that you're not just running your business for free.
Yeah, just working, and I'm not seeing where it's going. You just spoke about assisting with like non-financial stuff for your business. So now let's get a different scenario. I haven't even started the business, right? Like I've got an idea. I think I'd really like to get started, but I'm looking at my finances. I'm like, I'm not capital. I don't even have the money to flour. As I sit here, I'm not, flour or even like get anything started. What do I do? Where do I look in Gibega here? Where's the assistance? What do I do in that situation?
Okay, so you've got two avenues. If your business concept is not funding ready, meaning you haven't done your business plan, you haven't done your market research, like it's still very, very raw, then you need to approach SEDA. You'll speak to a business advisor. They will help you with your business plan and formulating your business plan and getting it funding ready. Once it's ready, then you bring that business plan to Sifa. We will assess it, and we'll find an appropriate product that you can access to get your funding. If your business plan, I'm not saying that it's guaranteed if you come to Sifa, you will get the money.
Okay.
We have to assess every single application for affordability, for viability, so that we're not also recklessly lending and just giving you a loan as a 6 months down the line, and now you are in a worse off position that you were before, in that you've got now R1 million or 2 million rands loan, you've got no business, and you're in debt. So we do try to lend to every entrepreneur, but we do so responsibly.
I'm not sure about everybody else, but if you're not thinking about starting a business now, I'm just hearing millions. That's my problem. I'm not sure if that's the right thing that I should be thinking about, and not necessarily like how the business is going to run. I'm just hearing millions. Like I'm thinking, what business can really get started? Like I get somebody to run the admin, but like I'm hearing the money. Now speaking of somebody who might be like, who is just like money, not really thinking realistically how the business is going to run and all of those things. What would you say? Because now I want us to close this off. And I just want to know, what would you say is like a golden rule in running a business finance? Because it's good and well to have an idea, to be excited about it, have advertising, telling everybody this is what I do. And then really it crashes most of the time, and we hear it's because somebody did not know how to manage their finances. So for you, what would you say is like just this generic or like golden rule in managing your business's finances?
I'd say the golden rule is to separate yourself from the business. Remember, the business is a person itself. So it's a juristic person, and you are a person, a human being. You are not your business. So you need to separate yourself from the business. The business's money is the business's money. It's not your money. And that's where entrepreneurs sometimes find it very difficult to separate themselves from the business. So you need to run your business, allow it to trade, to service its customers, to pay its employees, and to pay its director, which is you.
Okay.
You cannot use the business money to do your personal things. The business will pay you a salary from which you can do your personal things.
Okay.
That is the most difficult things that most entrepreneurs don't get, and it's normally the route to the demise, because you will see revenue coming into your business and you forget that you have to buy stock tomorrow so you can trade another day. You've got to pay rent. You've got to pay the lights. You've got to pay your staff. and you've got to pay yourself. And when you use the revenue that you're supposed to use to generate money, tomorrow you can't generate the money because you've taken the business's money. So ayikwazi usebenza business. So that's the golden rule that I would, if there's one thing that entrepreneurs listening could take from today's discussion, please, please, please separate yourself from your business. The business's money is not your money. You only use what the business has paid you in terms of your salary. That's yours. The rest belongs to the business.
I think that's solid advice for me, because I think seeing it as a different entity is the first like part. Because December's coming, and if my money's coming from my business, I'm like, I'm ready for the big days, and the money is in my account, so I'm going to feel like it's mine. So I think seeing it, separating yourself from the business is such, I don't know, it's really great advice, and I hope that everybody who is watching is taking that into consideration. We are closing off, people. Closing off. This is the last episode. Thank you so much for availing yourself. I'm hoping that the entrepreneurs who get to see this will find valuable information that they can use in their own businesses to grow their businesses, and to visit Sifa, see if there are products that might work for their businesses, and see that just to get more help with the running the business and growing the business as well. So I'm just gonna say goodbye here. Thank you again, Bongo. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you giving us your time. I know everybody else will feel the same.
Thank you very much, Lisa, and thank you for inviting me. And yeah, to the listeners, you're welcome to go on the Sifa website and browse. All our products are on there. You can also check our success stories of all the different people we funded. So you can see that this is real. It's not just a story that Sifa funds people. It's on there. It's on our website. You can follow Sifa on Twitter, Instagram. We're quite hip and happening of late. So you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. But yeah, please visit us, visit CEDA. That's what these organizations are here for, to assist young people to get into business so we can decrease the unemployment rate and increase our economy. But yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much, Bongo.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.